All right, well, it looks like we have plateaued at about 198 attendees. Maybe we'll get to that 375 that pre-registered. But we're gonna kick things off here. So Rick, if you wanna go ahead and advance the next slide. A few of these things we've been sharing already. Please do enter all your questions into the Q&A function. You can vote up a question with your thumb if you have that same question or it's more important to you. And this meeting will be recorded tonight and it will be posted online in a few days. The slide deck will also be posted, as well as we'll try to put together a Q&A from all the questions and such that you submit. So for that, why don't we go to the next slide and we'll jump into introductions. So my name is Michael Omke. I'm the Director of Support Services for the Delmarva Council, and be serving as one of the leaders in camp this summer. I've got a small background in camping, being the last 19 years I've served on camp staff in 5 different councils. And my biggest pride and joy for scouting is that my 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy, are all members of Scouts, and 2 of them will be attending Rodney this summer with us in week 3. So.
Hi, my name is Rick Surveyor. I'm the Director of Camping for Delmarva Council. I'll also be part of the leadership team at camp this summer. I've been in Rodney Scout Reservation since 2010, and a total of about 20 and change years working on summer camp staff as well. I have the pleasure of both of my children are also involved in the program and will be attending week 3 at Rodney as well. So glad to be back.
Hello, my name is Rachel Weaver, and I am the Chop Tank District Executive in Delmarva Council, and I will be Program Director at camp this summer.
Hi, I'm William Murphy. I've worked at camp for about 8 years now, and I will also be the Program Director this summer.
So we are your panelists for the evening, and we'll do our best to answer all your questions. You know, summer camp is coming very quickly. And this weekend in particular, a little bit of warm weather really made me feel like it was time to get back to camp. So we'll just jump right in then. So the first section we have is pre-camp planning. And just some reminders, things that you probably have already worked through. May 1st was the early bird deadline. So your final payments are due then to get the early bird pricing. And our fee is all inclusive, and we're not kidding about that. It is all inclusive. So when you sign up for additional merit badges or youth program activities, those costs are all in that one fee. We don't spend time nickel and diming you. We just put the one program together and the one fee, and that's all you got to take care of. So over the next few weeks, please do take time to make sure your attendance numbers are correct, not just the names. We want to make sure the names are right, that your folks have got the classes that they need to attend, and that they've made their payments. So if you do have changes to those, you can work with Donna in our office, who we'll get to Donna at the very end for Q&A. We'll post her email address and such. But she can help make any changes if you have late additions or things like that. And a lot of you are in weeks where we are sold out. But what that does mean is we're sold out to additional units. So if you have a unit in camp already and you have 1 or 2 kids that you would like to add, we will do that. And we'll make that work. So you just need to work with us for that. If you have adults who are splitting the week, what we ask is put those adults, you know, for example, one is from Sunday to Wednesday and the other is Wednesday to Saturday. Please put them both under the same name. So John Smith is the first name, Bobby Watkins is the second name. That way we know they're splitting the week and everything's good for that. Adults that are in camp do have to have a completed youth protection training. That's a requirement from the Boy Scouts of America. So please make sure your adult leaders all have that. Program signups opened up on March 19th at 9 a.m. and you guys did a wonderful job at that, selling out a lot of our programs already by noon that day. if you're still looking at those program options and signups, there is a travel times document that you can use as a guide. Rodney is a fairly stretched out camp when you go from the one end to the other. And that travel time document really helps you to understand how much time it'll take to walk from one area to the next. There's a program description document that is very helpful in use for preparing as well, and talks about age and experience recommendations. Okay. You'll see that we have a hybrid schedule. That is where we have classes that are offered in periods 1 through 6, which are about 1 hour long. But we also have periods A, B, C, and D, which are about 1.5 hours. And so depending on the merit badge and the requirements, some of those badges take a little more time, some take a little less. So you'll see that and be able to build your schedule out. Right. Paperwork. So as we get closer to camp, if you want to save a little time on Sunday, there is a great opportunity for you to do a unit swim classification in advance. So posted on our website is the document that'll take you through that. You need to use a lifeguard or someone with safe, it's not safety afloat. What's the name of the program I'm calling, Rick? Swim and water rescue. So if they have that or several other things, they can be authorized to do the swim tests, and you guys can do that in advance of camp, and that'll give you a little extra time on Sunday when you're checking in. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. We'll run swim tests Sunday afternoon, and make sure we get everybody a chance to get through the pool and figure out what classification they are. Prerequisite completion forms. So if your merit badges have prerequisites for some of those, there is a form we ask you to use, and that can be emailed then to rsrpd@dmvc.org. That's our program director team, and they'll be able to then share those with the various instructors through the week. And then optional if required. So order the arrow. If you have folks that need to be called out for the order the arrow, we can do that. And if they're not from the Delmarva Council, they will need a letter from their local lodge allowing us to call them out. We also have the ability to do elections if your unit has not done them for Delmarva Council units. And a reminder for jet ski program release form. I'm guessing this is going to be in there like 2 or 3 times tonight. And it's just something we always want to make sure we get. It's a little bit harder to get, but that is required for youth and adults who are going to participate in jet skis, as well as boater safety certification for many of our programs, whether it's jet ski or motorboating merit badge. All right, so we're going to shift to Will with check-in date.
All right, so check-in day happens on Sunday. We ask that you arrive at 1 p.m. because we have a staff meeting that happens around noon. And this gives us enough time for our staff to finish our meeting and then for them to go and check their campsites and then come back and meet you in the parking lot when you guys arrive at camp. If your entire troop gets to camp anywhere between 1 and 1:30, it works perfectly. And our entire check-in process is just to make sure that it's as seamless as possible and to give you guys enough time to unpack while we go through the different things that we have to go through. We ask that parents stay in the parking lots. If you guys can kind of make it seem that it's us asking for parents to go in. When you guys come to camp, we'll give you a car pass. That's usually for your trailer to go down, and it's just 1 car at a time. And then it's just to make sure that there's less traffic, as there's so many different people coming in and out of camp that day. So if parents can just drop off, say goodbye in the parking lot, and leave, that'll make traffic and unpacking and getting ready a lot easier. Once you're in your site, hopefully your site guide has already done the inspection, so you can go in and start moving into your tents. And once every person has arrived into the site guide will call the medical team, and a med check team will come into your campsite and do a medical check there. They can just keep unpacking until the med check team is arriving, and then once they're there, we ask that you give all your med forms to each individual scout. That way they can do the med check and get through it as quickly as possible. they will need to have parts A, B, and C for that med check. And there will also be a temperature check where if you're over 100 degrees, then you cannot stay in camp. So we ask that you make sure that there's somebody to drive people out of camp just in case there are any scouts who are over 100 degrees with a fever. After that, your entire troop will go to swim checks at the pool if you need to do them. And whoever needs to do a swim test will wait and do a swim test. And anybody who doesn't need to do a swim test can stay at the site and keep unpacking. Once the swim tests are all done, the troop can go back to the site, whether they're led by the SPL or another leader, while your site guide will take the Scoutmaster down to headquarters for the final check-in, just to make sure everything is A-okay and all the med forms and everything is good for the rest of the week of camp. And then you have the rest of your that time before dinner to set up your campsite and get your entire troop ready for the week. Retreat will happen sometime around 6:30ish, 6:15 on the parade field. And your site guide will come down to your site a few minutes early, depending on how far it is from the parade field, to guide you down. And hopefully you guys have had plenty of time to unpack by then. And we ask that you wear a Class B underneath, since we will actually be eating dinner in or on the parade field, and it's barbecue chicken, which can get fairly messy. So if you would like to wear a Class A, that's fine, but it's something underneath, just to make sure that the Class A's don't get messy on the first day. And a camp chair, that way you guys can sit down and have somewhere to sit down on the parade field. Between dinner and campfire, we'll have a round robin on the parade field where every director will come around and tell you different programs that they're having in their area. We're going to mention some of these later in the webinar, but also that first day, this will be for the kids to learn and try kind of just gauge what they kind of want to do for the week. So this will be the first day, and they'll have enough time and to learn about all the programs we offer here at camp. During that, the Scoutmasters and Senior Patrol Leaders meeting will be in the dining hall, and the Brown Sea Leaders meeting, which if you have any Brown Sea Scouts in your troop, then we ask you send one leader to the Brown Sea Leaders meeting, just so they can learn how the Brown Sea program works. And then after the round robin on the parade field, everyone will just stay there and then line up for opening campfire, which will happen anywhere between 8 o'clock and 8:30 that Sunday evening.
All right. On the opposite side of check-in, we have check-out, which happens on Friday night. Friday evenings is our family dinner time. It's a time that parents, grandparents, whatever additional family members are welcome to join us to see the end of camp and to see our closing campfire. If we are going to have additional people in camp, they need to purchase tickets so we know how much food to make for that dinner. And those can be purchased at www.bmvc.org/RSR store. On Friday night, we are also going to have our closing flag ceremony. This is where we are going to be giving out the end of camp awards in front of everybody. This is also where our blue cards and paperwork are going to be distributed. All of your scouts' paperwork, all of their blue cards will be given to your unit on Friday night. Your unit can then take Friday evening to check over, make sure they don't have any questions, make sure everything is in order. And on Saturday morning, we'll have all the area directors together in Brown Lodge. And if there are any questions or anything that needs to be looked at, scout leaders can come there and we can get it taken care of in one fell swoop. After our closing flag ceremony on Friday, we are then going to line up all together and walk directly to our closing campfire. On Saturday morning, we'll start out with breakfast as usual. So the same scheduled breakfast time that your unit has had all week, we'll have on Saturday morning. Then we are going to have our staff that is checking you in, your site guide, will come to your campsite at an assigned time, which will be given to you when you come into camp, help to go over your entire checkout process, go over your campsite, make sure you have everything, make sure your campsite is clean and that you are ready to leave. We do have all of the camp patches, leader surveys, and things will be at headquarters. So as you finish checkout, your scoutmaster, or whoever is in charge of your checkout for the week, can come down to headquarters, get your camp patches, fill out surveys, tie together any loose ends for the week, and then you guys are finished for the summer. You can head home and have safe travels. We also have that time to sign up for reservations for next year for Rodney if you would like to come back.
Sorry, I can't find the mute button apparently. So health and safety. This summer we'll have 2 health officers at Camp Rodney, both Dr. Luke and Dr. Ruth. I'm fairly confident you've seen both of them at some point over the last 10 to 15 years because they've both been there. Most of those 10 to 15 years. New health lodge location down near the parade field, which we used, I believe, last year as well. But just so you're familiar with that shift. Medical forms, parts A, B, and C. So there's a couple questions about this already in the Q&A. For all participants who spend the night at camp, we do need a completed annual health and medical record for parts A, B, and C, which includes the doctor's physical. And even if they're only staying less than 72 hours, they still need to have A, B, and C. That's a national standard. And it's based on the duration of the camp, not the duration of the participant's stay. I'm going to need to defer to Rick on medications in camp because I didn't study up on that one.
So medication in camp. So you actually would handle that as a troop, just like you would in a one of your typical troop campouts. What we need you to do is to be able to lock it, have it in lockable storage. So a lot of troops will use things like a tackle box that they can lock and be able to keep that under, like I said, under lock and key. If you have anything that needs refrigeration, we can store that in the health lodge. If you happen to have a cabin or bunkhouse that has a refrigerator in it and you want to keep that in your campsite, that's fine, but it still needs to be in that lockable storage. So it might mean that you need 2, one that's in the refrigerator and one that's not. So please make sure that happens. But you don't have to send your scouts down to the health lodge to get medication, et cetera.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Yep.
Car passes. If you have someone who has a physical challenge and needs assistance to get around camp, they will need to have something stated on their medical form from their physician, whoever is doing their annual physical, or a note from the physician or a state-issued handicap placard. So if they're going to be using a car during the week, they need to have that, and that's the way we do that. There was a couple questions that I saw, other ones regarding health forms and whether we need to include health insurance cards with paperwork for each adult leader and scout, and the answer is yes. So should anyone have the need to go off-site for medical purposes, it's good to have that information there. You never know how you're going to go off-site, and I'm a prime example of that. I got to leave in a helicopter back in 2019 at a different camp that I was at. So please make sure you submit those with your forms. And then just a reminder, in the chat function, you're welcome to chat all you want, but if you do have questions, please post them in the Q&A session so that we can be able to monitor those and get them answered for you. So moving on to that, from bicycles in camp. So last year we did have some limitations to this due to COVID, and the Health and Safety Committee reviewed it again this year with some really good debate of whether they belong in camp or not. We were able to get approved a process to have bicycles back in camp. So there's in the leader's guide, there is a document that you'll see that calls out all the specifics of it. We will have copies available for you at the beginning of camp, and it's a bicycle agreement, and each of the scouts who has a bike will need to sign that agreement, and their scoutmaster or one of the unit leaders will need to sign that as well. And what that is agreement between the unit leadership and the scout that they will follow the rules of the bikes in camp. Things like using the main road, driving on the main road, but walking paths, you have to walk, right? So please don't take the bikes down the walking path. We're trying to keep them separate. So 10 miles limit in camp. Helmets are required for cyclists. If you're riding after dinner, they do have to have lights. And so that full list is in there. And the biggest change for this year is we are asking the adult leaders in camp to help us enforce this. The camp staff often get in a very precarious situation where they are trying to enforce it, and I've asked them this summer to not enforce it. And I'd like the unit leadership to do that. If it becomes a problem from one week to the next, we will talk about it in a leaders meeting and ask for your assistance to curb it. There is a risk if it doesn't get curbed and the kids aren't following the rules for the bikes that if the risks are getting too high, that we suspend bike activity for that week. So I'll just ask everybody to work with us and make it safe for all those kids to have the bikes. It's just trying to help overcome the stretched out camp with those. Visitors in camp. So if you have folks that come up during the week that didn't check in with you on Sunday, they must check in first at headquarters. If they're visiting, for less than, why does this say this? This is a typo, please forgive me for that. If they're spending the night, they will need to have class A, B, C medical form. If they're just in for the afternoon or something, then parts A and B are fine. Visitor meals were listed in the guidebook at $8, $10, and $12. If they're spending the whole night, including 3 meals, that's $30. Program shifting to Will and Rachel.
Excellent. So for signing up for programs throughout camp, we've got 3 main types. We have before camp online signups, which are how you sign up for merit badges and a bunch of things that we're going to talk about later. We have signups in camp, and every sign up in camp happens at our headquarters building. So your troop can sign up for all the activities they want to, all at the same time. I'll mention it a few times, but it is good to keep in mind what you would like to sign up for and sign up for it early in the week so you can plan your week, and so we know how many people are going to attend each of our activities. We also have a few programs that are walk-ins where you do not need to sign up ahead of time. You just show up and participate. There are way more opportunities in camp in 1 week than you could possibly do. Your scouts could not possibly get to every activity. So you want to look and see what you want to participate in, what your scouts want to participate in, and remember that there's always a chance to do what you missed next year. All of our merit badge classes do require merit badge applications. Most people call them blue cards. Mostly they're blue. It's okay if they're not blue. These should be filled out before the scout shows up to their first merit badge class, whether you fill them out before you get to camp or right when you get to camp. If you're having the scouts fill out their blue cards, I recommend taking a look at them to make sure that they are legible and that their name is on it. Many scouts forget to put their name on it. They'll put all the other information, but it's very important that they're fully filled out and legible. We will have 2 flag ceremonies. Oh, I'm sorry. My computer's going crazy. We'll have 2 all camp flag ceremonies happening on Sunday check-in and again on Friday night. And a reminder, Friday night is when we are going to hand out all of the awards for the troops. We're going to pass out our blue cards and other paperwork, and then all together, the whole camp is going to head to our closing campfire. Throughout the week, we have a lot of opportunities for leaders who might have a special passion or something they do for work that would be exciting to share with scouts. An example to think of is if someone is an engineer, they can come and speak to engineering merit badge. It's actually a requirement of engineering merit badge. So if you are an engineer, please talk to us when you arrive at camp. But if you have another hobby that's such as boating or you're really into forestry, Give us that information. And if you would like to be a part of the program, it would really enrich the experience for our scouts, and we would love to have you.
So the NEST program is the Nature, Ecology, Science, and Technology. It has over 20 different badges that we teach that have to do with all different types, those different types of badges. And the evening programs we offer is Bay Hike, and that happens Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then the Thursday Bay Hike is reserved for Brownsea. The Troop Naturalist is an activity that you can do. It usually takes anywhere from 2 to 3 days to complete. You can complete everything at camp, and you talk to the Nature Lodge director or the NEST director, and they will give you everything you need to earn it, and you get a patch. It's some leaders do it, some campers do it, some scouts do it. It's for people who are interested in nature or ecology, and it has to do with researching some things, and it's a cool thing. It's like we have Ironman for people who want to do stuff like that, and we have this badge for other people. We also are going to be offering troop service projects, where you would, if your troop wants to do a service project, you would go to the nature or NEST director again, and they will work with our ranger to see if we have a service project available, or if we can find one for you to do that week. Also for these, we're not going to be mentioning all the badges. They're available on our website. We're just going to be mentioning and going over the evening programs and special programs that we were doing for these different areas. Scoutcraft has an Olympiad competition where they you're basically doing a bunch of woodsman's activities and building fires, and to see who is the best Olympian. And if you have scouts who are really interested in those Scoutcraft activities like pioneering and making fires and stuff like that, then this could be an interesting program for them. This happens, I don't know the exact night that it happens, but again, all of these programs and the list of the nights and the days are available on the website under the description of the programs. The sign up for this is in HQ, and you just have to sign up by Wednesday morning. I imagine it's Wednesday night. They also have the Firemanship, Totenship, and Paul Bunyan Woodsman, and these will happen either one night. They will offer one of these throughout the week. The Paul Bunyan Woodsman is basically like an advanced Totenship. Some of the requirements are earn it, help somebody else earn it, and do one of 3 different types of projects that at Scoutcraft they will help you earn. Just one more note for Scoutcraft: the Cooking Merit Badge will be started in camp, and we will help you learn things like health and safety, the food hygiene requirements, how to be cooking, and how to plan meals and planning those meals. And you will learn everything that you need to cook those meals and earn the rest of the badge.
Up next, we have aquatics. We have 3 aquatics areas in camp. We have the pool, where we do swimming, life-saving, instructional swim, and our troop swims and evening swims. The boatyard, where we have canoes, kayaks, and rowboats, and the sailing base, where we have all of our sailboats, our jet skis, and our motorboats. In order to do program at the boatyard or the sailing base, every participant needs boat shoes. These are hard sole secured shoes. Think Keens or Crocs that have a physical hard bottom, as opposed to something like Aqua Socks. They also need to be firmly secured to your foot, so flip-flops or open-toed shoes like that are a no-go. So just remember that you need boat shoes. People can wear old sneakers. It's not the most comfortable thing, but it is allowed. Also, we encourage you guys to do your swim tests before camp. It helps make check-in as smooth as possible. It really helps to streamline the day as your troop is getting into camp. If you complete your test before camp, you can email that to us at the rsrpd@dmvc.org, or at rsrcommissioner@dmvc.org. And we'll have your swim bands ready for you. We'll double check at your check-in and get all your scouts ready for the week. All right, so our programs at the pool on Monday morning, right when camp starts, first thing Monday morning before breakfast is our 1/4 mile swim. This is required for life-saving merit badge, and it is a prerequisite to participate in our mile swim. So keep that in mind as you're beginning the flow of camp. If people are in life-saving or if they're interested in taking part in the mile swim, they need to do the 1/4 mile qualifier on Monday morning. We also have a mile swim taking place in the morning. We have instructional swim, which is something we sign up for online before camp. Instructional swim is something for scouts who are not yet ready for swimming merit badge, and it helps them build up confidence in the water. We work at their specific level to make them more comfortable in the water and develop swimming skills that they may have already or start from scratch if they do not know how to swim. We also have troop swims taking place in the evenings. This is something you sign up for in headquarters when you arrive in camp. It is something that fills up quickly, so if it's something your troop would be interested in, I recommend you sign up either on Sunday evening or right away on Monday morning. At the boatyard, we do have troop boating taking place as an evening program, which you can sign up for in the headquarters building also. Now the sailing base. We do have jet ski programs. The jet skiing is something you sign up for online. And I'm going to mention it again later. And we said we'd say it a lot of times. Any participant who is jet skiing or motorboating does need the boater's safety certificate. In most places you can complete this online. It needs to be done before arriving in camp, if you are a leader or if you are a youth. The sailing base also offers Chesapeake Mariner, which is an evening program for people who have already earned small boat sailing merit badge and want to advance their skills further. This culminates in the Rodney Regatta, which is a sailing boat race that takes place on Thursday. You need to sign up in headquarters by Thursday morning. Now note, anyone that knows how to sail a boat can participate in the Rodney Regatta. You do not have to be in the Chesapeake Mariner evening program. So that's a plus if you don't want to do the whole evening program for that, but you want to be in the race. We also have open sailing that takes place in the evenings. That is a walk-up program. You do not have to sign up for ahead of time. We have open tubing. That's where they pull a tube, an inflatable tube behind a motorboat. And that is something we sign up for in headquarters at the beginning of the week. It does fill up quickly each week. So if you're very interested in it, sign up on Sunday evening or on Monday morning. We will have leader jet ski and leader water ski, something you sign up for in headquarters. And then a reminder again, so no one forgets, motorboating and jet skiing does require the boater's safety certificate that should be done before camp starts.
Our climbing program will have an open climb in the evening, which usually starts at around 7 p.m. And they will also be offering a night climb. These are, I don't know whether they're sign up or walk-in activities, but again, it says all of these activities on our website and the times and when they're available. The climbing merit badge, we also ask that you bring some work, like leather work gloves, but if you guys don't have some, we have a few available. But if you have some and somebody can bring extras, that'd be great. For health and fitness, usually we have our monster bike, which is a very long and extraneous course. It's still for a very experienced cyclist, but it will all be in camp this year, in trails or on trails throughout the campground. We ask that you bring personal mountain bikes. If you don't, there are some camp bikes, but if you have your own mountain bike, that would be ideal. And it will obviously be checked by the health and fitness director to make sure that it is safe and will be able to handle the trails that they ride on the monster bike. And that sign up is in HU on Monday. The Ironman is a whole troop competition. In the past, they have had usually 4 different competitions where there's a rowing competition. We have one person go down the boatyard and row, and there's another, and there's an archery competition where you have an archer and then a climber, and then either cycling or running or some type of swimming activity for the last one. And that usually happens on Thursday night. Again, the sign up is in HQ by Wednesday. And it will be, all these signups will be available starting on Monday. We're bringing back the volleyball tournament, which will be available for sign up on Monday in HQ. It will start on Tuesday, happens during siesta, and then the last siesta on Friday. The winning team will play against the staff team. For the cycling merit badge, again, it is a very tough and intense badge. They will be earning the entire badge there. And so it's about 10 miles of riding, and then one day with about 20 miles of riding. So it's for very experienced people to take this. And again, hopefully you bring your own personal mountain bike, but we will have some available at camp. Our personal fitness badge will be a partial, since there is a time requirement, but this will give you all of the requirements to earn personal fitness, except for the 3-month requirement where you have to do workouts and track your fitness goals. Also, game design is one of the badges we offer at Health and Fitness. It is not specifically about video games. The requirements usually are kind of refer to making games, whether it's a board game or a game that's outside in a field, or a game with cards or something like that. And it's not with computers or making coding or anything like that. Still a very fun badge for those who are creative and want to learn different games that they can play with at camp with no video games. Our Brownsea program is the name of our first year camper program. The signups for this are available in Rodney specials. We encourage all first year campers who this is their first time at summer camp, and they maybe have yet to earn first class, because they will earn many different requirements leading up to first class. Like they will earn totemship and firemanship within the program. They will learn knots and lashings, different, the nature merit badge, swimming merit badge, and the swimming merit badge has a bunch of different swimming requirements that are required. Got a couple questions about bikes for Brownseas. The reason we ask that you don't bring bikes for Brownseas is because it's an all-day program. And so from 9 a.m. to 11:45, they will be starting in the Brownsea site, or maybe another specific area, and walking to and from a bunch of different places around camp to earn all the different requirements and do everything in the Brownsea program. And your entire troop is usually going to be in one patrol, unless you have a troop of about like 20 or 30 Brownseas, then you may have two. But your entire troop is going to be in one patrol with other troops who will not have bikes. And so it usually tends to be, you might be able to ride your bike up to the Brownsea site, but you're going to be walking it wherever, and you don't know, because the schedule can change so differently. Like, we're not going to make fires when it's raining. It's not going to be the best to plan moving your bikes every single time. So that's why we just don't recommend them and ask that you leave them for the Brownseas this year. The afternoon for Brownsea includes whether it will be their first period after lunch, like that first hour period, or one of the different periods after lunch. They will go to either the rifle range, the archery range, down to the boatyard and try a canoe catamaran. to the climbing wall for open brown sea climbing, to the pool for open swim, or they will go to the Bull Mountain Studios and learn how to make paracord survival bracelets. We offer these just so the brown seas can earn a bunch of requirements, but also get a taste of a bunch of our different areas in camp and kind of see what they might want to do next year. Our evening programs also are coming back, and they will include Hour of Chaos, where it is basically on Monday night, they will pretty much run as much energy out of them as possible with a bunch of games and fun different activities for them to play. And then on Wednesday or Tuesday, we will have the Brown Sea Campfire, which is just a campfire where you've probably seen a bunch of the different skits, and we kind of introduce the people who've never seen any Scout campfires to skits that they've seen all the time, and different songs, and just show them how a real campfire looks and how they might plan one in their own troop. And on Thursday is the Brown Sea Bay Hike. And before I mentioned the Bay Hike, I think Rachel also mentioned we will be walking in the bay, so you will need those closed-toed shoes, whether they're Crocs or Keens, or something like that, or old shoes. There are some old shoes that are at the boatyard in the sailing base, but they're usually not. I usually wouldn't plan on bringing them. If you have some old shoes, definitely bring them. Brown Sea Bay Hike, a lot of fun. Just walking in the bay, and we get to learn about a bunch of the different nature in the ecosystem around our camp. On Friday, graduation happens at around 3:30. And since some families are already coming in for Friday dinner, we welcome that they come a little bit early. That way they can see the Brown Seas finish and graduate and get their patch and do their name and cheer one last time at the campfire circle. Also a great place to take pictures. So we really encourage that families come out to that on Friday.
All right, shooting sports. If anyone is planning on bringing a personal firearm, they must be checked into the office, the headquarters building on Sunday, and they'll be returned to you after you are checking out on Saturday. So right when you come in camp, we take possession of that firearm, which includes bows. And then as you are leaving camp, we will give it back to you and send you on your way. We will have open shoot in the evenings. Archery will take place Monday through Thursday. Rifle is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and shotgun is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. These are walk-up programs. You do not have to sign up ahead of time. You can walk right up, participate as much as you want, as much as time allows. Awesome. Next, we have Bull Mountain Studios, which is our handicraft lodge. In the evenings, they offer branding and tie-dyeing. Participants will have to bring items that they want to brand. Things that work great for branding are like thicker water bottles, like Nalgene style, or the ends of belts usually come out pretty well. The leather brands well. And for tie-dyeing, they can bring anything they want to tie-dye, like t-shirts, socks, pillowcases, whatever, but they do have to bring those items to the activity in order to take them back with them. We will also be offering leader leather craft in the evenings. It's a chance for the leaders to use all of the leather working tools to put their creativity to good use and make something interesting, make whatever your heart desires. If somebody is interested in making a belt, we do sell belt blanks, which are entirely plain leather belts that can be designed and then stained, which is a really fun activity and something you can keep for a while if you're interested in that. Next, we're going to talk about ACE, which is our Advanced Camper Experience. This is a program that is designed for older scouts, usually scouts that have been in camp for a little while and they want something different than the typical merit badges. Scouts do have to be 14 years or older to participate. It is a half-day program, so it'll take up an entire half of the day, the entire week, Monday through Friday. And its activities are very interesting. So they're non-merit badge based and they fluctuate from year to year. They even fluctuate sometimes midsummer as ideas come up and new things are born. The program is ever evolving to keep it interesting for scouts that want to participate year after year. So some of the things we've done in the past are ice climbing, crate stacking, and slacklining. The ice climbing is on a synthetic ice wall that we have at the climbing tower in camp. We've done cardboard canoes where you use cardboard and duct tape to paddle around in the bay and try to race against your fellow scouts. Done tomahawk and knife throwing, drone flying, and driving gas-powered RC trucks all around, racing them, probably crashing them into each other. It's a great activity. It's a great program to participate in, and it is changing year to year. All right, we also offer some leader trainings. We have Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills. This is something you sign up for before camp starts, and it does take half the day all week to complete. It is a great opportunity to get this training taken care of because it is required for a couple of positions, and it's a fun way to expand your outdoor knowledge in a fun setting with other leaders. We have Climb on Safety as a walk-in program. Safe Swim Defense and Safety Afloat, both as walk-in programs. And we have aquatic supervision trainings. These you sign up for online before camp starts so we can have all the proper stuff in place for you to complete these trainings.
All right, food service. Everybody's hungry 3 times a day. So at Camp Rodney, we have 3 different types of food service. The first one is the dining hall, which is cafeteria style with assigned times. If you have a preference of your meal time, you can email the commissioner staff and we'll assist in that. We'll go into a little more detail with that on one of the next slides. We have heater stack and we also have troop commissary. So special dietary needs, allergies, etc. So please make note of the email address there. That's directly to our food service director, who is from Aramark. And on our website, there is a form that you can use to complete to request a special dietary menu or needs. So we will be posting on Monday our updated menus for 2022. We have 2 menus. One is the regular menu, which works for most campers. And then there's a special dietary menu that addresses most of the common dietary restrictions. So there's a window that they'll go to for special diets, and using that form, they'll be able to communicate in advance with our food service team to ensure that they're going to have a good time this summer and still be fed. So heater stack, a little bit more on that. Food will be delivered to each site that is in the heater stack groups, and that'll be delivered from the dining hall via a van with hot boxes. We recommend you serve cafeteria style in your campsite, and that's both for hygiene and portion control. Just make sure everybody gets some food. There'll be a van driver and requisition sheets for communicating. So what that is, it's a form that you use to communicate back with our kitchen team. For example, if you are short something, you ran out of staples, or you need more food or less food. There's some units we find just don't want as much, and others, their kids are much hungrier and want some more. So if you communicate that with us, we can adjust the portioning as you don't have the benefit that those in the dining hall do to get seconds. Troop commissary, there are some troops that choose to provide ingredients and do their own cooking. So if that's something you want to do, that is an option out there for you. And then the next one. So dining hall. So this summer, again, we are going to base it off of last summer with some changes. So we'll be cafeteria style, just like a college dorm again, or college dining hall. There'll be rolling staggered seating times during your assigned period. So last year we assigned troops, I want to say on like a 5-minute schedule. we're going to balloon that out a little bit. So there'll be a few more troops assigned to like 15-minute schedule and fit like an arrival window. And you'll come in, you'll enjoy your meal, go through the line. There'll be salad bars, will be back, breakfast bar in the morning with yogurt, things like that, and drink stations. We do ask you bring water bottles, whether you're in the food service or not. There's always a need for drinking water in camp. And then as a troop, you'll be able to eat at tables inside or outside as a troop. And then number of questions about will we be bringing back program in the dining hall this year, and what we've settled on with maintaining the cafeteria style, that we have found a way that we believe will work very well this summer. There will be what appeared to you as impromptu staff-led dining hall program throughout the week. We'll do a couple times a day at lunch and dinner, and depending on where you are in that mealtime, you might see it today, you might see it tomorrow, but there will be opportunities for the scouts to get involved with the staff and songs, etc. So, Rick, if you can advance us. Trading post. Everybody wants a snack or a t-shirt or such like that. So this year we do have custom t-shirts again. The upper right corner, you see this summer's logo, kind of a retro style based off an early 1970s Camp Rodney patch. You can order online at the dmvc.org/RSR store. That's the Rodney store through Square. $18 to $21 per shirt based on the sizing. And we do ask that you order 3 weeks in advance so that we have enough time to get them customized. On the sleeve, you'll be able to choose to put the troop number as well as the city and state that you are from. Coming back this year, I think for the second year, is gift cards. You can purchase those online through the same store link above. What that is, it's a digital gift card so that you'll be able to download, I believe it's a 16-digit number similar to a credit card, but it'll avoid the necessary carrying of cash. Cash often gets lost, it gets left in shoes at the waterfront, etc. So this is something that they can take a picture of it in their phone and save it, or things like that. If one of the children does forget their code, we are able to look it up, and parents can also add funds from home if they deem that necessary. Trading Post has all kinds of things like camp supplies, leather belt blanks, food and beverages, gifts and keepsakes, and much, much more. There's probably 15 different shirt designs if you don't like this one that people can choose from. So there's plenty of options for shirts, or if you just need one for every day of the week, we can help you out. So
Hey, Michael,
yeah,
real quick before we move on, there was a note in, I think, the chat that the www.dmvc.org/RSR store leads to a dead link. We apologize for that. Our website's doing some funky stuff at the moment. If you go to www.delmarvacouncil, all spelled out, .org/RSR store, that does get you to the right spot as well. So again, if you go to www.delmarvacouncil.org/RSR store, it will get you to the online trading post. Sorry for the confusion.
all right, next slide. So questions, we've got a lot of questions still, and the staff are working at typing some of them, but we're going to go through a few of them online here. So I'm going to just scroll back up. If you've got questions still that have not been posted, please do so, and we'll work through them. This is kind of that session where we're going to try to get all your final questions answered. And so I'm going to take the first one. Someone had asked who they should email to address scouts that are gender fluid, i.e. transgender or non-binary. What I ask is please send a note to rsr@dmvc.org. That goes to Rick and I, and we'll be able to work with your unit to address any special needs that needs. So most of our bathrooms are single gender, or many of them anyway, in a sense of you open a door, you walk in, you close the door behind you. So a lot of them have that. But if you need assistance with that, we're willing to help you, or working through your local Scout executive is another answer there too. Rick, do you want to talk about troop trailers? You're on mute.
I was just saying, let me finish that one that I was typing. So troop trailers, let me scroll back up.
Troop is planning to bring a troop trailer this year. Can we leave one vehicle at the site for secure storage? I'm assuming that means in addition to the trailer.
Well, it says they're not planning to bring a troop trailer. So they're basically saying, can we leave a car instead of a trailer in the site? While we don't typically allow vehicles in sites, we can work out with you if it's not a trailer and one is needed for secure storage. We could work that out. Please don't use your car for the secure storage for your medication. Also, don't use your troop trailer for the secure storage for your medication. The temps can get too high in those environments, and it can degrade some medication. So I'd say work with us directly if need be on that vehicle in the car in the site, but typically we don't allow vehicles in sites.
So there's a question about Braun Lodge being open to Scouters this year. We do intend to return Braun Lodge to be kind of the Scoutmaster Central and Staff Central, as kind of a lounge for purposes of internet checking and kind of an what do you call it? A getaway from the Scouts for a few minutes anyway. We are also still working through our final staff housing for the camp, so we're trying to figure out if we will need that, but we believe it'll be available for leaders and adults. There's a question for heater stacks, campsites. Do the Scouts need to return to camp for lunch? That's up to you. If they want to eat, they have to go back to their campsite where their food will be distributed. So if you choose to find some other way to solve that problem, that's up to you. Medical forms, should they be organized alphabetically or such? Alphabetically is preferred. As we shared, that'll be done in the campsites, and it really works well that way and allows you to continue setting up camp while we pull off one person at a time to do those medical rechecks. Dietary restrictions, I think we addressed that, just using that form online. There was a question somewhere that said the form was not working. I just double checked it about 5 minutes ago, and it is working right now. So if that's still an issue, please just send us an email. It may be an outdated cached site that is not bringing the most recent one up.
There was a question about, is there a good place for parents' cars to wait in case a Scout fails the med check? So it is a medical recheck. Typically, the only thing that they would fail if there's a fail in that is their temperature and are they sick, actively sick? And so one thing that we suggest is before you ever even drive them to camp, check their temperature then. If it's just a matter of they've been sitting in a hot car for a few hours on their way to camp, we'll let them cool down. It's not an immediate thing, but if they're actively sick, that would be the only time, and in which case, hopefully the parents already know that that's the case and aren't sending them in a car to camp.
Okay, a couple of medical questions. Medications, so inhalers, EpiPens, those types of things, emergency needed medications. Scouts and adults who have those prescribed to them are able to carry them. That's something that should be on that person if they have a need for it. The other question about medications, or in that world anyway, COVID vaccinations. So we didn't talk a whole lot about COVID tonight, and that was somewhat intentional. COVID is not done. We know that. We are doing everything we can to maintain some of our protocols like hand washing and things like that. But as that's an ever-changing thing, right now, we don't have a lot of guidance on COVID. If that should change, we do reserve the right to change that. And that's all based on what the state of Maryland or the Boy Scouts of America does. But currently the guidance for an outdoor program is really limited. So regarding vaccinations, if you can get it, we recommend it. If that's a personal choice to you that you don't want to, we don't require it, but we do encourage it. So, and then that'll just, if it changes, we'll update you. But at this point, numbers are low and things are continuing to be a little more open than they were a year ago. What type of shotgun sports do we have? You're really stretching my knowledge. So I am not a shotgun shooter by trade, but what I can explain is we have shotguns and we have a clay thrower that throws them out, whether you call that skeet or trap or 5-stand. I think it's 5-stand with 1 stand. So it's probably the best way to explain it. And it's really intended for the youngers, those scouts that are just beginning scouting and shooting, to learn off that single target versus trying to introduce how to shoot from multiple different positions. Will or Rachel, do you want to talk about honor troop?
Yes, I don't know if we have specific requirements for honor troop right now posted, because they change every year with the different programs that we offer. But on Monday on Sunday, when you get your binder during check-in, the honor troop list will be in there, and it'll tell you the amount of points you need for, depending on how many scouts your troop has. And it'll let you know how many points everything is worth and who needs to sign off on it, and everything like that, which you'll get in your binder on Sunday check-in.
Clarification on dietary window. I really meant a window, like you walk up to a window and those with dietary needs will get their meal from that window during the week. During check-in process, there will be an opportunity to talk to the chef or one of his lead staff for any kind of clarifications you need if that was not done in advance. But each meal, they'll go to a specific window and pick up their meal rather than going through the line that most of the folks are going through. That one, Rick is typing an answer for the parent gift cards. Is there a way to change a scout's name without losing the current activities they are signed up for? That's a great question. I believe they can just edit the name, and Rick might be raising his hand to answer that. But I believe they can edit the name and the activities don't change.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is it may not let you edit the name. It should, but if it gives you trouble doing that, the other thing that you could do is effectively add a scout, put in the new one, and then you kind of do the back and forth, drop a class, add it from one to the other. It should allow you to change their names though. If you run into trouble, reach out to us. The Donna can help make that transition happen as well.
For out-of-council units, what paperwork is needed by adults? For example, backgrounds, YPG, etc. The only thing we're requiring of our leaders to bring with them is their health form. But as a unit, you should be ensuring that your leaders are registered and that they've completed youth protection training. We don't ask for background checks. That's all done with the local council. Rick, question about heater stacks. Can they be requested for any sites or only certain campsites?
Any of the heater stack sites, it actually says it on the campsite selection spot. So there's a whole end of camp, a whole section of camp that is our heater stack sites. But no, it's not able to be selected for any site, just certain ones.
Somebody said you made it sound like it was hand pull and asked if it was actually trap for a shotgun.
There's a launcher. It's an electronic launcher that sends them out. It's not hand thrown. There's a question on here about where does one find information about signing up for IOLS? It is listed the same area that you signed your scouts up for merit badges or signed scouts up for Brown C. There should be a section that's called adult leader training or just leader training, and IOLS or introduction to outdoor leader skills should be listed there.
There's a question about swim checks and who can do those in advance, whether it's Red Cross certified lifeguards, and it's anyone who's a certified lifeguard. So whether that's Red Cross, BSA, YMCA, etc. The pre-camp swim check form, which is available on the website, lists a number of other qualifications for those people. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a lifeguard. It may be someone in the Scouts who's just taken additional training. So please check that form for the specifics, but definitely the Red Cross lifeguards are fine. Do we need to bring copies of COVID vaccination cards? It's not necessary to bring the copies of the vaccination cards, but you could put that under other vaccinations on your health form. Another one, heard that no COVID-19 proof of vaccine is needed. I mean, it's not going to hurt to bring it. You never know who else is going to ask for it. We're not asking for it other than for you to update your health form. How much is the pizza and when do you need us to pay for it?
So I don't have the price for the Crew $2.99 pizza sale offhand. It adjusts each year based on our supply price, but we'll be able to get that to you typically at the pre-camp leaders, not the pre-camp, at the Sunday night leaders meeting. If you're looking for it ahead of time, as we get started with camp, we should be able to have those prices for you. We ask people to order those pizzas by Tuesday night so that we're able to have them in time for you on Thursday at 9 p.m.
There's a question. I see that when sending money to the gift card, it asks for a recipient's email. What if the Scout doesn't have an email? If you send it to an adult's email, the parent, for example, they'll be able to share that then with the Scout.
There's a number of questions, various different iterations of it. Is there electric available for CPAP machines in a given campsite or in all campsites? While not every campsite has electricity just generally available in the campsite, we are able to have electricity available for CPAP machines in each campsite. Sometimes that's running an extension cord, sometimes it is battery. We do ask you to bring 100 feet of extension cord so that way you're able to connect, because you may not be right next to the outlet. But if you bring 100 feet of extension cord, we can have power for your CPAP. We do not currently have ice cream parties available. I know that was one in the past. We don't currently have them set up for this year.
So there's questions about Brown Sea Scouts and where they eat. They eat with their troop, whether that be in the troop campsite or if they're a heater stack, or it be in the dining hall, but they will eat with their troop.
Yeah, when I say all day, I just mean before lunch, that whole class time, and after lunch, that whole class time. But they will eat all of their meals with their troop, whether it's in the dining hall or heater stack.
Larry has a question. There was something in the leader guide about a camp commissioner calling the leader prior to arrival. So what we do is in the week to 10 days prior to you showing up in camp, our staff reaches out to your unit and just makes sure everything is in order, that your roster is current, that you know your check-in, check-in is at 1 o'clock. Any questions you might have at the last minute, but they reach out to you that in that 7 to 10 day window, just make sure any questions don't go unanswered.
The question on, can the quarter-mile swim test be done before camp? While the regular swim tests are able to be done before camp, the quarter-mile is not. It's part of how we make sure folks are strong enough swimmers to be able to participate in the mile swim and Chesapeake Chase, and life-saving for that matter.
Is the zip line open for summer camp, scouts and leaders? That's a fantastic question. So the root of that question has to do with inspections. So the zip line is completed with its installation, but we are working with our vendors to get the inspections done that need to happen prior to us opening the zip line. Most likely what will happen is that'll be opened up as an evening program, perhaps also being used in the ACE program.
There's an early question about a session already being full and some overfilling several years ago. Our individual classes are capped based on instructional design and safety and whatnot, available equipment for those sessions. We are still hiring additional staff for this year to be able to hopefully be able to open up some additional opportunities for things that did fill up quickly back in March. But and if you have any amazing scouts or alumni that would be interested in working at camp this summer, please do send them our way. We are hiring, but we're doing all we can to avoid overbooking. We do not have weeks that are as significant in size as they were 3 weeks ago. So where you may have run into that back then, that is not the case now. And I think Michael talked about the fact that where we do still accept additional scouts for you, we're not accepting additional troops if it is full.
There's a couple questions about menus, both related to like vegetarian options on Sunday evening for the barbecue, but also the dining hall menu. I literally received the dining hall menu in final form at about 3 o'clock this afternoon from our food service company. So we'll be posting that tomorrow. That'll be available online, both the full menu for most people, as well as the dietary needs menu. Two adult leaders in a troop, different genders, not married. They want 2 tents. I agree. That's a great conversation when our commissioner calls happen 7 to 10 days prior to your arrival. Just let them know that your leaders are not sharing tents. Can we still plan our own dinner and ice cream Friday night if we bring all the food and items as needed? Absolutely. Is there an OA day? I don't know. Will, Rick, Rachel? We'll have to get back to you on that one.
I feel like typically it's Tuesday with an ice cream social, but I heard no ice cream. So there may be some type of OA skit in our final campfire, however.
The ice cream party question that was asked was not related to the OA ice cream social. That was a Trading Post ice cream party thing that we did several years ago. I believe that was what the question was related to. That's what my answer was related to. We do typically do an OA social.
Looks like Rachel's typing an answer to whether medical forms are not required until check-in day, and that is accurate. Hopefully her answer matches mine, that they are required at check-in. You do not need to send them in advance. Please do not send them in advance. We would like to get them in your site at check-in day. Leaders are absolutely welcome to bring their own tents. I know I like a screen in my tent, and Green Campus doesn't typically have screens.
Not only leaders, but scouts can do the same. It's actually a question that our commissioners ask ahead of camp. How many personal tents will you be bringing?
Chesapeake Mariner is signed up online, similar to merit badges in the specialist section. Last year, troops were asked to have scout driven by parent due to COVID. Is council okay with 3 to 4 scouts in a vehicle? Absolutely. Traveling like we usually do is okay. You're welcome to do that. You know, what's your preference with your unit, though, is the ultimate answer.
Real quick, there were a bunch of questions about hammocks. As long as your troop is comfortable with hammocks being hung up in camp, that is allowed. Just make sure your scouts are not putting them in roadways or across paths. I just answered it like 4 times, so I wanted to cover it for everybody.
There's a question.
Go ahead, Rick.
There's a question related to bus transportation and using a bus to transport your troop to camp. Absolutely okay. It's a question that we'll actually ask during those commissioner calls, is how do you plan to come to camp? Is it a carpool? Is it a bus? So please make sure you let us know. There is a specific question in there about if a scout has a fever and cannot stay, will any of the other passengers be impacted? No, they will not. Just the scout that is presenting that issue.
Personal tent size limits depends on how many scouts and adults are in your campsite. The standard tents are 9 by 7. I wouldn't want to go too much bigger. You know, I'm not recommending you bring your 3-bedroom Taj Mahal tent because you're going to eat up a lot of space. So, you know, 10 by 12, 7 by 9, that kind of size is good. This will be recorded tonight, or has been recorded tonight, and we'll post it online. We'll also be posting after a few days. It'll take us a few days to compile them. We'll put together a list of FAQs and post those as well. And the slide deck will be posted. So I would expect maybe by Wednesday or Thursday, we're able to get that all done and posted on the website.
So there's a question about more latrines and restroom facilities available for females this year, for example, closer to Brown Lodge. While we don't have additional facilities this year, we are in the process of reorganizing some of them so that they better fit our full contingent of scouts and leaders within camp. So more to come, but while there's not additional facilities, they are being a bit reconfigured. Thanks for checking. We're on it.
We have several contacts for our troop. Who will the commissioner contact? The commissioners will contact the unit leader who owns the registration. So whoever that individual is, that may or may not be the scoutmaster, may or may not be a committee member, but it's whoever's been the key contact with that unit. Okay, So it looks like we're kind of hitting the end of the questions. If you have others, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. On the screen is Donna, her extension. And she started with us in, I want to say March, but has gotten up to speed very quickly. And it's been a great help with folks for getting the registrations done. And whenever she can't answer the question, she reaches out to this team as well. So available at that phone number and that email address on the screen. So with that, like I said, we'll post these all within the next week for continued viewing. We appreciate you all taking some time on a Sunday evening. I'm looking out the window, seeing a beautiful sunset and thinking it's going to be that much better sitting at the waterfront area in Rodney, and just it's magical how that sunset comes together there. So I appreciate everything that you're doing to have a great summer. I'm trying to remember now that we're kind of nearing the end. I believe after we log out, we can download all the chat, the Q&A and such. So I'm going to end the meeting. Anyone who's left, have a great evening.